It was one of those commutes that turns small hills into impassable mountains. By 4 p.m., 235 was a mess. Traction was bad, visibility was worse. By rush hour, it was a route many tried to avoid altogether, in search of a path with less resistance, which led to possibly the worst traffic jam Grand Avenue has ever seen.
I've lived in Des Moines my entire life, and this is just ridiculous. I've been out in blizzards, and traffic has been moving better than this.
Unless you experienced it,
what is going on?
I have no idea. Blizzard, craziness.
It's hard to explain how bad it was.
Almost 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours.
Almost everyone we spoke to was traveling or trying to travel from downtown to their homes in West Des Moines. We caught up with people. It wasn't hard to do. At 49th Street, only 40 blocks west of downtown.
I left the Grimes State Office building, and it's been 2 hours. So, and I just need to get to West Des Moines, that's all.
How long does it usually take you to get home?
15 minutes.
An accident at 63rd and Grand didn't help, neither did the hills, or the snow, or all the drivers who just wanted to avoid 235.
I heard that the freeway was creeping along too, so I feel safer here. I'm used to this. I grew up in Iowa.
Treading water and clinging to chunks of ice, this man struggled to keep his head above the freezing water of the Des Moines River. When the Des Moines Water Rescue Team arrived to bring him a boat, one rescuer even fell through the ice in an attempt to get to him. And when they eventually reached him, they knew they had to act fast.
Sure, he was really cold. It had to be cold, and moving water's worse than standing water.
Corey Camito is the firefighter in the yellow wetsuit you see here on the right, one of the few rescuers who risked their lives by going into the icy river to help this man. They struggled to pull the man to shore, and at times he even resisted.
When hypothermia sets in, I don't think your brain really works right. So he grabbed a hold of the boat. We were trying to tell him to let go of the boat. He wouldn't.
As if the freezing cold water wasn't a big enough challenge, the ice made things even more difficult.
We had to break through the ice, with our hands to get through. It wouldn't hold us.
Several minutes later, they finally made it to shore. By that time, authorities estimate the man had been in the water 15 minutes. Had it been much longer, they believe he wouldn't have survived.
I guess you didn't really think about how difficult it was while you were doing it.
Now this humble firefighter, a man of very few words, is grateful it all worked out the way it did.
We're glad to be able to do our job and help somebody in need.
I think every time we come to this place, we're just still in awe and unbelief of what took place way back in 2001.
I know that you have a special kin to what happened on that day. Many of you were here and on duty the day that happened, and this symbol here is a reminder of what's missing from that group of people today.
That day, for those that were living, I think it changed us forever.
Many of us today here remember these events of 13 years ago, and I would bet you remember exactly where you were and what you were doing. 72 law enforcement officers mostly lost their lives at the World Trade Center, along with 343 firefighters, paramedics, and one fire department chaplain. Over 3,000 children under the age of 18 lost at least one parent.
Looking forward, I am filled with vision. Looking upward, I am filled with strength. Looking within, I discover peace.
My brother died in January of this year. He was a veteran of the Afghanistan War. He spent over 26 years in the military, so it's just kind of a neat part of his final resting place.
They've lost someone close to them. They've served their country, and they're giving them a unique resting place.
Put tie on.
I add the ashes of veterans that have passed away to the Freedom Rock.
We just thought it'd be kind of neat that part of his remains came out to the Freedom Rock because it represents the veterans.
Thank you, Bubba.
It's becoming a little bit of a destination for people, and I'm glad because that means that they're taking time to think about, you know, all these veterans.
I think it's a neat thing, and it's a great tribute that he's given to the Iowans. It's just phenomenal, you know, to pay tribute to our veterans in that way, and to have something that's visible to everybody in the state.
Freedom is the most expensive thing that you own, even if you didn't pay for it yourself.
I'll try and keep doing it. I'm going to do this for as long as I can. I hope people continue to want to come out and see not only what I've created, but continue to thank our veterans. Look at this rock, take all that in, and even if it's just for a day, you know, remember how lucky we are here in this country.
When winters don't quit, the first hint of spring sends wheels spinning.
I mean, there's no place I'd rather be than out on a beautiful morning like this.
In Urbandale, the surest sign it's safe to emerge
Hey, Monty, how's it going? Pretty good, thank you.
is the guy everyone in town
Good morning. Good morning.
seems to know.
Because I'm so recognizable in my chair.
If the thermometer's above 60, you're almost guaranteed to run into,
The fun part.
hopefully not literally, Monty Halferty, who loves his city's trails.
Once the leaves come out, this is a beautiful area.
Cerebral palsy put braces on Monty's legs and keeps him in a wheelchair most days. And he'll admit, when it's this beautiful, that just sucks.
I wish I could run for long distances, bike for long distances.
But on board his four-wheeler, there's no room for a woe-is-me attitude,
No, this is some crap right here I'm picking up.
as he's loaded down with grabbers and pokers,
I normally use this one more.
chosen to make sure his suburb
Styrofoam, and of course, come on.
stays spotless. 9 summers ago, Monty noticed the first one,
That is so irritating.
a wrapper that didn't belong. The cigarette butt frustrated him even more.
I'm gonna risk a little off-roading here.
Soon he was driving his chair anywhere he could,
I've fallen into a spring northwest of Douglas.
and some places he shouldn't, to pick up what others dropped.
He'll call me up. Hey, you got time to come pull me out? And I do.
Police got to know Monty the first time their phone rang.
I was mistaken for a dead 80-year-old lady.
He dozed off along the trail. From behind, they couldn't see his beard.
And I just had bleached my hair blonde that summer, which I'll never do again.
Once Sergeant Lang woke him up and noticed all he'd picked up,
It's amazing all the stuff that gets in here.
that old lady found a police force full of admirers.
He can spot trash that most people never see.
How's it going today? Good. Sure is. This is my greatest joy, to be outside.
Tell a nature lover to sit down for a good chunk of the rest of his life, and plenty wouldn't move.
Now you'll get to see me use one of my escape tricks.
Monty won't stop.
Chair, let's behave yourself.
Because after nearly a decade of picking up after others, what he's really found is joy.
I think of it as kind of physical gratitude and reciprocity for all the good life I have here, and I can try to give back in a little bit.
Eric Hansen, KCCI 8 News.
Uh-oh. No, you're not going to roll away from me.
Iowa's news leader.
I mean, this puts me in such a good mood.
This is kind of an annual event with our Prep Academy program.
I think you'll be fine on this door.
We have groups of 7th graders who have gotten together, and in approximately 3 to 4 hours, they design and construct and actually float their boats in the pool down below Central Campus. If they survive the trip down the stairways, that's a bonus.
This is hilarious because it's Talk Like a Pirate Day. Arr!
Now the fun starts.
They had to come up with a name for their team.
We're what team? Team Purple.
Team 6, Ninja Turtles.
I like water. And it's also
allowing us to kind of test out what we've got.
Will you please prepare your boats? Holders go in first, please. We're fast approaching the moment of truth. Will these boats float or sink? On your mark, get set, go! SOS, someone overboard, seriously.
It allows them to apply some of their engineering skills and at the same time to get involved with some teamwork.
The kids are learning a lot about how things work in the world, and they're going to test their ideas, and so that makes it great fun. Yes! It's a chance for us to really explore some leadership, some creativity, as well as some science, technology, engineering, and design. Our students do a lot of math and they do a lot of reading, so this is a real opportunity for them to kind of put all their ideas together.
I was second place and I fell in 3 times.
They were thinking, boy, if I had a chance to do this again, this is what I would change. You know, and so I think they get just as much out of the failures as they do the successes.
Even a 2-year-old can tell you every face has a call. The signature sound meaning I'm content, I'm hungry, or get your butt over here.
Irving! Dug, 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 dug! Greg! Greg!
Pig and pumpkin growers spend all year aiming for blues.
Kenny, baby, I'm ready. Where are you?
In Pioneer Hall, wives climb up on stage and do what comes naturally.
When I need him, I need him.
Holler for their man.
Roy! Roy!
While entertaining the crowd and trying not to blow a vocal cord.
Henry!
But the guys who marry blue ribbon contenders have to be careful buttering her up.
My husband suggested I might have the lungs for it.
This year's champ proved him right.
Daryl! Daryl, barrel, banana, fana, farrel, me, my, Marrow! Daryl!
It made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up a little bit.
Proof years of practice.
Doug! Douglas Dwayne! Where are you, Doug? Doug!
Eventually does pay off.
Irving!
Matthew Bolender is only 12, but very familiar with what happens in a hospital room.
I don't like these wires.
I know, but you can handle it.
Weighing in at 1 pound when he was born premature at 25 weeks, Matthew has developmental delays and other medical issues.
Up here.
We are here for a 48-hour EEG.
The wire is an effort to find why he isn't progressing as he should be.
They itch.
Despite the efforts of Matthew's parents and Renata, his therapy dog,
Look at her face.
Matthew is anxious and knows exactly when he's going home.
On Wednesday, tomorrow.
And one friend he's excited to see,
Molly.
Molly!
Molly, his therapy horse for the past 8 years, who apparently makes house calls.
I have a surprise for you. Would you like a surprise?
And hospital calls.
Yeah.
Okay, can you come to the window?
Molly.
Who is that?
Molly.
What are they doing?
Look, she's looking up at you.
It is very unusual. It's a pretty special treat.
Matthew made this unusual request after learning about yet another trip to the hospital.
He said, well, I think we need to take her in a trailer and leave her at Mercy and then I can visit her. So I thought about it for a couple days and I thought, oh, how special if she could come.
It was a brief reprieve.
And she can't come inside.
No, she can't come inside.
And after 15 minutes,
These wires,
They're fine, we're
they're tangled up.
back to the task at hand. Although the simple goal of this complicated visit was achieved.
Put that smile on his face.
Mark Tauschak, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Minutes typically feel like about a minute. But the ones that drag in a hospital waiting room, those are long enough to reflect.
If you were to take a step back and observe this, you wouldn't know that anything's wrong.
A year and a half ago, Nate and Laura Yoho looked like a model couple in more ways than one. But personal trainers can tell you even their looks can be deceiving.
I found out that I have a tumor, so a brain tumor.
Yes, her.
It's very, very bad. It's very serious, I guess you could say. And there's only about a 5%, or I would say 2 to 5% that you're going to be okay.
1 year into a marriage, that's heavy, even for weightlifters.
You're in uncharted territory. You don't know what to feel.
Even her friends since elementary.
We were in Mrs. Lyman's class, and that's when we became best friends.
Couldn't believe this was happening. How could it to the girl who preached healthy living through college?
She would get up at 6 in the morning and work out, make a breakfast while I was still in bed.
Laura kept fighting.
If I'm ever having a bad day, if I just work out as hard as I can, then I'm good to go.
While Nate kept hoping.
I don't think I've ever been more nervous for anything in my life.
But within 9 months,
she knew that it was getting worse, and I could tell.
Laura's fight was over.
All of her family and everybody she was close to was there.
Even the best obituaries struggle to summarize a life.
I always joke and tell my husband that Laura was my soulmate. Sorry, Aaron, but you know, just that one person that you had this unexplainable bond with, and best friend doesn't begin to describe what we had.
But Laura's also contained a surprise. She is survived, it read, by her husband Nate and her daughter Carolyn, due to be born through surrogacy.
She was such an amazing person that, I think a piece of her deserves to live on.
It was a plan they'd shared with only their closest friends.
She said, hopefully someday Nate and I will be able to have a child. And I said, well, if you ever have any trouble carrying a child, I've done it twice. I know I can do it again. I'd be more than happy to do it for you.
My hands are sweaty now just thinking about it.
The young couple had no idea that during Laura's last year, her best friend had already been setting the stage.
Said, I've been going to the doctor and preparing myself for the past year, knowing that I was going to carry this baby, and we were just like, wow.
I really meant that, and so we cried and hugged and decided right then, I'm like, I'm ready, and let's get this going.
Laura lived to see her baby's first black and white ultrasound, find out she was a girl, and know if the shower days before her death was any indication, her weightlifter was going to have plenty of spotters on this one.
And I hope she looks just like her and acts just like her, and I can tell her all about her mom.
She said, whatever happens, happens. A baby is a joy to all, no matter what. And I thought, you know what? And that's why I loved her so much. She knew exactly what to say. And I said, that's right. There's nothing bad that could come out of your baby being here.
Except nerves. 4 months and 2 days after Laura Yoho died,
Oh my gosh, yay!
her sister got a text from the delivery room down the hall.
Congratulations, Dad.
And couldn't wait to hug the new grandpa.
She looks good.
Oh. I can tell the look on Nate's face. Everything's okay. Oh. I just got a piece of Laura back just now. Oh, I got part of my daughter back right now. It's awesome.
Every grandpa believes their bundle's a miracle.
It's just...
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, Laura's back.
But after a year of tears that ripped his heart out, the one that landed in his arms delivered pure joy.
There she is.
Yeah.
And immediate comparisons
This is it.
to the mom she'll never meet.
This is crazy, you love something before it ever gets here, and then actually see her is pretty overwhelming.
Nate Yoho knows being a single dad will be life's hardest workout. But Carolyn Elizabeth?
She's going to know how hard her mother tried to be there for her and what kind of person that she was.
Right down to the number of best friends she's had since 2nd grade. Eric Hansen, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.